What if scaling your business didn't have to come with sleepless nights, constant stress, and sacrificing your personal life? Today's guest is here to challenge the myth that bigger goals require bigger sacrifices. Welcome to the Inspiring Innovator Show. My name is Jennifer Henczel, and I'm your host today. And my guest today is Jennifer Cramer, the success sorceress and founder of the Success Seekers Sanctuary, a mentorship space for divergent high achievers ready to scale beyond six figures without burnout. With 25 years in entrepreneurship, big business, finance, and real estate, she blends practical strategy with energetic mastery to help clients grow health, wealth, love, and happiness in equal measure. Known for her uncanny ability to read both the field and the numbers, Jennifer guides seekers to create businesses that feed their lives instead of consuming them. Her work attracts achievers, entrepreneurs who crave sovereignty, profitability, and soul-level fulfillment. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
I'm excited to be here. Oh my goodness.
You have been a magical fixture in
Oh,
Paul and I's life, and you've helped us in many ways over the years, and I wanted to share you with my audience.
I'm so excited. You guys, you have no idea how much Paul and Jennifer mean to me too. Like we're just so much fun we've had over the years, so much creation of like elegance and business in each other's lives in different ways. Yeah, just this is a friendship that is, transcends time. Absolutely.
Totally. And you've helped me and Paul to realize that you don't need more energy to get more results. You've helped us tap in to our inner selves instead of always, you know me, I'm very pragmatic with the external doings,
Yes.
and so to look inward and to just have peace and ease. My whole year, my whole theme this year is ease, and you've helped me to get there. So you talk a lot about sovereignty as the foundation of success. What does sovereignty mean to you, and how can someone begin building it in their own life?
Yeah, yeah. What a great question. So, sovereign, like people are like, oh, well, a sovereign, like we both live in Canada, so a sovereign is like a king or a queen. So, imagine yourself as the king or queen of your universe, of your life. And, so the ultimate king or the ultimate queen, they have a board of advisors, but they are the number one person who makes the choices for themselves. And so, I see this over and over again. Like highly effective people, the people who actually want to work with me are very much leaders, but they're also very sensitive. Like back in the day, we used to call them HSPs, highly sensitive people, and now there's more and more and more research showing just how differently we think, how divergent we are, and the sensitivity goes along with that. And so when you're starting to make these choices, that are sovereign choices, sometimes you have to go through a whole entire process. And I know I've told Jennifer about this, but I would love to tell you about this. I did an entire year that I called my year of being helpless. And so, and if an adult person came to me and said, "Hey, Jennifer, I think you could help me with this," I would make them wait 24 hours before I told them. I would say, if it was my own children, I would say, adult children, by the way, I would say, I think I'm going to help you with this, but I need some time to say yes. And then, if an adult person got sort of angry that I wanted to make them wait, and I had this happen in business where people were like, why are you making me wait? And, they were trying to offer me their services or whatever. And that was an instant no to me. If somebody got angry with me taking the time to be sovereign about my time, sovereign about my energy, then it would be an instant no. I'd be like, okay, thank you very much, but it's a no from me. So when we think about the sovereignty process, it's like being helpless isn't like not helping, like just, screeching halt. It's just being very, what do I want to say about this? Being careful with myself, careful with my energy, careful with my talents, careful with my abilities. And I can tell you over the years, I see what people need. I'm a highly, highly intuitive person. But if the person hasn't actually used their mouth to ask me to help, then I just don't. And that was really hard for me because I love helping.
I love that so much. And you've helped to show us that when you let go of some of those things, it opens the door for more opportunities. It leaves room. It makes more room for those things. That's amazing. So your work spans health, wealth, love, and happiness. And so how do these four pillars work together to create true success?
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that question. I love that question too. So, my business, when I'm working with people, when I'm creating courses inside the Success Seekers Sanctuary, um, those are the four pillars. Wealth, people come to me and they're like, I need to make more money. I need to make more money. I need to make more money. And quite often, they're not taking really great care of their health. And so their body is like, absolutely not. We can't afford the energy that it would take in order to be able to make more money. And so it's the body that's repelling these wealth making activities. It's like, no, not another client, not another headache, not another, um, remember back in the day how long it took to like put a click funnel together? Oh my God, you just want to die. You're like, no, not another opt-in sequence. Like, even if I actually want these type of clients, the body is absolutely not. And then happiness, I think most of the people listening to this will know that what we focus on increases. And if happiness is a main priority in your life, if joy is a main priority in your life, if you start to ask yourself questions about joy, or even giving yourself permission to have that conversation, to start asking yourself questions about happiness and like, what am I doing or what are you doing to increase your happiness on a weekly basis? You're like, okay, well, am I 90% happy this week or I'm only 10% happy this week? And what do I need to do to change that? And then relationships. And I tell you, like I would say, people come to me, either their business is really way too successful and it's eroding their relationships, eroding their health. It's like a runaway freight train, or their health and their relationships are starting to erode their life's blood, their beautiful business that they've built, that's supposed to be out there helping people in a way that works for them. And so if we don't have those four legs, happy, healthy, wealthy, and loved, then we start to get to have a three-legged chair, which is pretty rickety, or we start to have a two-legged chair, which is really like a seesaw. And then sometimes people come to me and, all of the legs of the chair are pretty rickety.
Oh, wow. I love that. So in the Success Seeker Sanctuary, you work with high achieving people
Yes.
who are often feel stuck. And so what are some of the biggest patterns that you see? You've described some of them, but what's really the biggest pattern that you see holding them back?
I think one of the biggest patterns that holds them back, and you and I have talked about this in my life, and also in your life, is that they think that they have to work harder. And so they have, sort of an internal monologue that they're not doing what they need to do in order to be able to get where they need to go. And I think in many cases, it's not a discipline problem. It might be a bit of an energy problem because the body is like, no, I don't want to work harder. And then different aspects of their life are changing on, like almost a weekly basis. So they feel like the thing that they're going after, or maybe the thing that they've gone after, they're not getting enough traction on. And I would say one of the things that I do that I find really, really super successful is I go into, I just call them predictive technologies. Like, I have a ton of them. I use astrology, I use human design, I use something called Destiny Matrix, I use another one called Gene Keys. And so all of these give me a pretty good idea of what it is that you're really supposed to be doing. And it's definitely not working harder. It's just not. The more joy that you can bring into your life, the more personalized joy that you can bring into your life. It's so funny. I had a really great conversation with somebody yesterday that's got kids that are sort of like preteen. And I was saying to him that, well, one of them is a teenager, one of them's preteen, but we were talking about the preteen one. And the more we give ourselves permission to have the things that we want to have that bring us joy. Just for example, like I love art. And I find that if I'm supposed to have a piece of art, it just comes to me. Like it's just, I'll go. This one I got like at some fundraiser. I went to for dancing, which I love. And then at the fundraiser, there was an art auction. And then basically, I got this for almost nothing at this art auction. And then all of the money that I paid for it went into this really worthy cause. And so, if we think about joy as a real barometer for what it is that we're supposed to be doing in our lives, then that I think is just a completely different concept. It's not like, oh, you need to work hard to be fulfilled, or you need to work hard to have your life's purpose. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had that sort of proving energy in my life and I couldn't move forward because I was working too hard at the thing that I was trying to do. Just for example, like putting together a click funnel to just do what my life's work is. Like I probably could have picked up like clients at an art auction because I now know what my client acquisition style is, and it's networking, it's going out dancing, it's going to an art auction, it's hanging out with my friends. It's all through networking. It's not through grunt work or effort.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you've created such a beautiful life.
It is a beautiful life, isn't it? I'm
Mm.
very proud of myself. Thank you.
Hmm. You know, specifically for the business piece, you've helped people scale without burnout because you've learned your story involves some burnout, right? Tell us a little bit about that and what is the one counterintuitive piece of advice that you've given people that surprises them and changes their
Yeah.
life?
Yeah. Well, I think I hinted at it. Is that I really honestly wanted to be, I am a seeker and I am an achiever and I want to be the best at what I do, whatever it is that I'm doing. And there was just so much push in my life that actually my body wasn't going to go for that. And, it's so funny. Like, I've had the weirdest jobs. I think, and I joke about this all the time, that I must have pressed select all on the trauma button in my life. And, I don't say this to make people feel sorry for me. It's just that, the stuff that I've gone through has really prepared me to be able to sit down with my ideal clients who have gone through a lot. And so when they say to me, oh, well, I want to achieve this thing, in many cases, I've done the grunt work. I've made the bad decisions that allow me to coach on the good decisions. And I would say when we go to what's counterintuitive, when we go to what's joyful, that's highly counterintuitive. People are like, well, no, I have to get my MBA. I have to get one more gold star. And I would say in my work, actually, even in the work that I do right now, I do get kind of distracted by one more gold star and distracted by one more gold star. And on those days, what I actually do is I will go. This is what I specifically do. So if you want to copy this, just absolutely let me know. Tell me you've copied it. Tell me what you tried. But what I will do is I'll put myself to bed. I'll put my heated blanket on myself. I'll put my weighted blanket on myself and I'll meditate, like put myself into a meditative state. People can use guided meditations or binaural beats or whatever it is that helps you get into a meditative state. And I usually give myself like 45 minutes or an hour. And by the time I get up from my meditation or nap or whatever you want to call it, the thing will have solved itself. Like I'll have gotten a call like, oh, okay, well, don't worry, that bill wasn't for you. It was for someone else. Or don't worry, that client that has ghosted you has like left 6 messages because they're sorry that they ghosted you and they want to book in this week. Like just everything is an energetic state change away from where you're supposed to have it. So if it's not coming to you, then like the pursuit of it, it's almost like when I think about it, it's just like, you're in love with someone and you're chasing them down the beach instead of like allowing them to meet you. And I think it's possible to get into a state where you just love your life so much and you keep adding things into your life that you love, the money comes for it. It honestly comes for it. And it might not be like tens of thousands of dollars more than you need. But when you expand into the life that's really joyful and fulfilling for you, you stop chasing opportunities. You allow opportunities to come to you. Like you go to an art auction, you go dancing, you go sit on a beautiful patio with a friend of yours that you super love and have a really great conversation. And then all of a sudden, somebody that you wanted to have a conversation with is on the same patio, and then they come and sit with you. Like it should be that easy. It shouldn't be that difficult. And I would say people who are high achievers, um, it's almost like they have a high pain tolerance and they give themselves um, way too hard a time with the things that they want to achieve. Does that make sense?
Oh, I love that so much. So basically, alignment and attraction trumps doing all that work towards exhaustion.
Yeah.
I found out that the hard way. I know you did too. Tell people a little bit. I know I was surprised. We met you. You're this magical being. You're an author. You had your books at events and things like that. And just everything that came out of your mouth was just wisdom and so aligned and so synergistic with Paul and I. And you've been such a wonderful person in our life. But I was so surprised when I found out you had this background in corporate real estate, really hustle, hustle, hustle. I would have never imagined you as that. So tell us just a little bit about that and what that transformation was like for you.
Yeah, yeah. So, this is such a cool thing. I'm glad you're asking me about this. So, when people are like, they want to hire a business coach, so they think, okay, I'm going to hire a business coach. Or they want to hire somebody to help them with their relationships, or they want to help somebody, they want someone to help them with their approach to manifestation, or, what I call waving hands over bodies. I mean, this just energetic stuff. And so back in the day, I grew up in a really poisonously capitalistic family. I call them the pirates. And so when I grew up, I went into real estate, buying and selling real estate as a realtor. And then I moved into mortgages. And then I managed a payday loans place. I've been in investment mortgages. I've also managed real estate like strata. And I would say all of that as a life experience, like when I joke about pressing select all on the trauma button, the things that allowed me to do were the very things that I probably should have had no business doing. Do you know what I mean? Like it was so poisonous for my body. Um, when I'm out of alignment, I get insomnia. When I'm out of alignment, I get like problems with anemia, like in my blood. Do you know what I mean? It's like I can't sleep. And that's where I get like a ton of my inspiration is from rest and from sleep. A ton of my attractors turn on when I'm sleeping resting. And then my blood, I mean, the thing that like I'm a passionate person. And so my blood gets depleted when I'm doing that type of work. Am I good at it? Yeah. But most of the time, the reason why I was so good at it is because I'm super freaking psychic. So I'd be like, oh, that person's going to be after me for that mortgage to be fulfilled. So I better go nag the mortgage center, or I would be going into, I had some beautiful buildings that I looked after. Like I had, yeah, maybe I had over $100,000 worth, $100 million worth of real estate that I was responsible for when I had a portfolio that I was looking after. But it's the thing, it was like the magic that I am, the lucky that I am, the just-in-time energy that I am, the ability to look at someone's aura and read their aura and be like, oh, I know what this person's about. What will make this person happy was the thing that kept me safe in those careers, that kept me fed in those careers, but it was just absolutely not fulfilling. So, do I know how to set KPIs? Yes. Do I know how to budget the heck out of something and make it happen? Yes. Do I know standard operating procedures in, out, and backwards? Do I know the Strata Property Act and, Real Estate Services Act, like all of that legal stuff? You bet. Is it what I'm best at? Absolutely not. And I would say we're kind of here to do what we're best at. And so the more we say no and we don't help people with stuff that we're not best at, the more the universe gets programmed to bring us the stuff that's really fulfilling, really juicy, and in many cases, really lucrative.
You help people with alignment. So having that business background helps you to be able to identify the different gaps they have and things like that. And so it really is magical how you can narrow in on one of those four pillars that the person needs help with. And so if someone's listening today and wanted to take just one step towards creating a life where they feel free, prosperous, and deeply happy, where would you get them to start?
Well, if I could say two things, can I say two
Yeah,
things?
yeah, yeah.
One, always ask for more. Um, but two things. I have a process that I developed, called the overgiver solution. And so wherever this is posted, whether I have this on my social or Jennifer has it on her social, there's going to be a link to this overgiver solution. And so what makes it unique is that you use it to begin to learn to use your intuition to help you build what you're going to do next. And the best way to explain it is there's like this magical day, like you wake up and you're like, oh, I need to do that thing. And you just get it all done. A to Z, get it all done versus, trying to be like making yourself do your to-do list versus using your intuition to know exactly what it is that you need to do today or this week to have maximum traction on whatever part of your life that you're working on. So that one. And then the second one is the sovereignty piece. It's like where you're allowing people, I always say, not everyone gets a say in your life, and not everyone gets to stay in your life. So not everyone gets a say and not everyone gets to stay. And so the sovereignty piece, you are the sovereign, you are the ruler of your life. And so if somebody's trying to have a say in your life and it's pushing you away from your own freedom, your own fulfillment, then you're going to have a look at that. And you might need help wherever the help comes from. It can come from me. And then not everyone gets to stay in your life. Like you may actually have to just open the exit door and be like, okay, not today.
Can you tell everybody how they can connect with you? So give us your website, but also can you talk about the Success Seeker Sanctuary just for a minute?
Yeah, so you can go to successseekers.ca and then you can have a look at the sanctuary. One of the great things that I have noticed with myself is the more successful women I surround myself, the more successful I become. And so there's science behind it. It's like a minimum of 15% more successful by being just an energetic, like proximity. Like if my desk was sitting close to Jennifer's desk, I could become 15% more successful in the areas of my life I wanted to become more successful in, and then for Jennifer, the same. And so I found also that when I tried to discuss with people, okay, here's my goals, here's my targets, here's where I am, here's what I wanted to do, I kind of got cut down. People were like, well, you're never going to create that. And so I wanted to create a sanctuary where it was very, very safe to have a conversation where people might accuse you of being too big for your britches. And, I have clients that have come to me who were like going to get divorced, or actually they weren't married yet. So they weren't even going to make it. She was going to be a runaway bride. And so that business wasn't making any money. It was taking on contracts that were not worth the paper that they were written on. They were having to put way too much time into the types of the contracts that they were taking. We reworked the SOPs. We reworked a lot of the internal workings of the relationship and the business itself. And now they're taking on multi-million-dollar contracts. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
amazing.
one business that I've worked with, and of multiple. Yeah. Yeah. So successseekers.ca, if you go there. And then I think it's successseekers.ca/Jennifer Cramer. If you go there, then you can grab my Overgiver solution and go from there. But I'm pretty present on whatever social media that you are on. So if you look up Jennifer Cramer or Jennifer Cramer Lewis, then you can find me in those places. And I'm sure wherever we are posting these videos, you'll be able to have a look at what it is that I do.
Yes, and we will put those links in the show notes
I
so
love
that
it.
people can find them quickly. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the Inspiring Innovator Show with me today. And you can find our show notes at innovators.fm. And you can get all of Jennifer's links and all of our links over there. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for being here today.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. I always love to see your face, always love to find out what you're doing next. And you really are an innovator. I love that about you.
Thank you so much. Bye for now.